Hi guys, shaking in again. My colouring in. This is the one I started for you last week and I had a lot of fun with that, but I did go out the lines a lot because it was my first attempt and I wasn't concentrating but I did go out the lines a bit, so I thought, no, I'm not happy with that. You know, the perfectionist I am, and you couldn't go, and it was lines into the white, so I couldn't go over it with another colour and try and fix it at all. So I found another one, a different type, and I coloured this in on the weekend. And I love the colours on it, so I went and got a couple more, and I'm now live on TikTok, and each day I've been colouring in a bit more with them. So far, to colour this in, it's taking me about 3.5 hours because I have to go very slow. And as I've told you before, we've got to work out our ET way. So I've worked out that when I colour in, I've got my arms all tucked in like I always do. And if I hold my wrist, I can go down strokes side by side and colour in that way. Or I can go up strokes and colour in that way. But if I go up and down, no way. I'm going all over the place. So like the painting, everything was in a stroke or in dots. Same with the colouring in. And that's the only way I can control the pen. So I'll do a little bit with you today. And now, as I said, I'm on TikTok now, doing lives. I'm still trying to work out what time of the day to do it. And I'm going to do it each day and do a bit more of what I've been doing. So as I said, today I've just finished about half an hour ago. I go for about 40 minutes to an hour on TikTok. And it's just colouring in and talking about my life with ET while I'm doing it. And as you can see, I move the board for me like everything I do. I don't move my arms. My arms are in position now, and that's where they've got to stay. I move them. If I try and colour in up here, I haven't got enough control. But tucking it all in, getting this arm to hold the board, that stabilised that arm even though it's not up against me. I'm just pressing down hard on the edge of the board with my arm, and that's stabilising it enough. Especially when I get to the corner, I've got to put it out. When I get a bit into the sides, I can then, see now I can bring my arm back in and hold the board that way. It's all about working out our ET way. So I didn't go out the lines at all. It's just slow and steady. Everything's slow and steady. Concentrate, take your time. And eventually we get there in the end. It's funny, I don't know what sets my head off. Sometimes it can be still. I think it's when I hold my breath, it steadies it a bit. I'll try. Yeah, I suppose that's why we hold our breath when we're doing things, because look when I'm not holding my breath. See, another experiment with you guys. held my breath again. My head wasn't too bad. Talk through it and breathe through it, and my head will be bouncing. Alright, it's bouncing now. Hold my breath. It did steady it a bit. I suppose that's why we do it. And this is why I do these videos, because it helps me work out why I do things too. So there you go. That's what we've all said. We hold our breath, and all ETs hold their breath with me while I'm doing things. So maybe that's why we do. Held my breath again, and my head steadied. Not steadied completely. I hope you can see that. Alright, I'll talk through this one and watch my head. Talk through this one and watch my head. Okay, now the next two I'm going to hold my breath. That was a long holding the breath, but it did. It wasn't as shaky. There you go, ETs. See, we learn something new every day. Maybe if you don't have head tremors, it just must steady us a bit more. And that must be why we do it. Hold my breath. Wow. And I've only got one finger holding my wrist onto it. I press down hard on that finger, but that steadies me a bit. And it was funny, I was doing my paint and my colouring in the other day, and at first I had hold on my wrist for a long time. And I kept going to see when I would steady more. When I get to the edge ones, I still do hold my wrist, because I don't know why they're scarier than the middle ones. And it took me about 2 hours. Even though it's relaxing doing it, it still took me about 2 hours to not have to hold my hand. See, at the moment, I still have to hold that hand. But after doing it for 2 hours, I had this hand over here, and I wasn't helping this hand anymore. So that just also shows, and another lesson for us, that the longer we do things, the more confident we are with them, and the better we can do them. So, like I said, colouring that first multicolour one I did with you the other day, I went out the lines a lot. So I went and got another one. I went slower, readjusted my grip, only did downward or upward strokes, not zigzag, because that's when you're bouncing all over the page. And I didn't go out the lines. But I like that so much that I've now bought a couple more. I want to do a blue one, I want to do a green one, and I want to do... Bronte wants a purple one. And the blue one has to be for Lukey, my grandson. So I don't really need that hand holding that wrist anymore. Down here was enough now. But it's just habit that you grab it. But still, arms in close. Turn the board. And that's how I did the painting as well. I turned the board for me. The middle of the painting was the hardest, because I had to stretch my arm out the furthest. Furthest? Is that a word? Yeah, it must be. Alright guys, so I hope that that showed you a bit more. Oh, Spotlight has a good sound. For what? Oh, sorry, I missed your other comments, Lana. If I do that, if I try and scroll down to see your other comment, I'm going to touch things. All right, guys. So when you come back on Friday, I'll have finished this and I'll be on to something else, no doubt. I'm loving all this craft again. I used to love craft before I had kids, and then when I had kids at first, I was still into it, but I was getting shakier. And I so wanted to be able to just have craft days with my kids. I had so much craft stuff ready to be able to do it with them, and I wasn't able to. I was too shaky then. I'd given most of it up. And now I'm getting back into it all, and I'm loving it again. That's another lesson for us. Don't give things up. Maybe we're having a bad shaky day. Try again tomorrow and see how you go. Love you guys. Take care. Stay safe. I will see you on Friday. And get out there and try things. All right, guys. Bye. Bye. Oh, these buttons. I can't stop it.